Today we got two of the most powerful villains going head to head. The Void versus Fernus. Who wins? Well, let's find out. After ingesting an experimental super soldier formula, the lowly Robert Reynolds became the Sentry, one of the first and mightiest superheroes. He was trapped in a constant battle with his dark side, known as the Void. In this fight, we're going to let the Void completely loose and just see what this dark side can do. The Void is the complete opposite of Sentry, being the evil half of Robert Reynolds, and representing his dark side. Now, the Void is incredibly powerful, but some people actually misinterpret this as the Void being more powerful than Sentry. This isn't technically true. Yes, the Void has done more impressive things, but neither is actually more powerful than the other. But their strength lies on a power scale, a spectrum, with Robert Reynolds' mental state being what causes it to swing back and forth. The reason why the Void is usually seen as more powerful than Sentry is because Reynolds is incredibly mentally unstable as the Void, and he's even slightly mentally unstable as a Sentry, afraid that the Void will come out. But if he was completely stable, then he has the potential to be as powerful as the Void. Does that make sense? So with that out of the way, just what can the Void do? Well, for starters, Hulk says that the Void is the only one that he fears, and he's got good reason to be afraid, as the Void has broken every bone in the Hulk's body before. He's been able to overpower Thor, ripped Ares in half, killed Loki even while Loki had the Norn Stones, and the Void actually almost destroyed Manhattan. He's defeated the whole Avengers team with just one shot, and the Void has actually taken on Doctor Strange, the Avengers, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Inhumans, Namor, S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, and more. The Void isn't just physically powerful either, as he's got a plethora of other powers as well. He's a powerful telepath, attacking Spider-Man's mind and destroying the mind of the Hulk. He can manipulate weather and create storms and hurricanes, and is even able to shapeshift, transforming himself into a giant monster, or basically any other creature. The Void is also able to come back from essentially any attack, as he's regenerated from just a skeleton or a skull just a few seconds. More recently, the Void has shown that he can not only destroy whole teams by himself, but is also able to contend with almost transcendent beings. Like the Void fought against both Sorcerer Supreme Loki with a power amp, and God of Magic Doctor Strange. And yet, neither of them did anything to him. They even admitted that with all their power combined, they had no way to defeat the Void. Then, in the corner, Fernus. Decades ago, John Jones was teleported to Earth from Mars and was left stranded. Since then, he has used his extraordinary abilities to protect and serve the people of Earth. Martian Manhunter possesses powers and abilities that are common to all Martians, but he has routinely shown that he is the most powerful member of his race. However, Manhunter was given a fear of fire in order to limit his true power, and when this went away, the Furnace was unlocked, a powerful alternate psyche able to hang with the best of them. So 20,000 years ago, an extremely dangerous race of beings called the Burning would cause large fires to help themselves reproduce asexually, and were threatening to take over the universe. In order to prevent the Burning from destroying much of the universe, the Guardians of the Universe from Oa took the Burning and split the species into the Green Martians and the White Martians, changing their reproductive behavior and instilled in them a fear of fire. But when Martian Manhunter confronted his fear of fire, he actually reverted back into one of the ancient creatures and changed his name to Fernus. Now, when Fernus first came onto the scene, he attempted to do things across the world with good intentions. Basically, he took it upon himself to right the wrongs in the world. He telepathically crippled Lex Luthor. He restored sanity to everyone in Arkham Asylum. He blinded terrorists by forcing them to stare up at the sun for hours, and even forced the leaders of 17 world countries to sit down and negotiate a peace. He beat the Justice League on 3 separate occasions, and actually didn't just beat them, but thoroughly trashed the team. Like one time, Furness said he had beaten them before they even had time to scream, and he considered this kind of slow and sloppy. He's tagged Flash while moving at superhuman speed, phased Superman into a table and took him out, choked Wonder Woman out for her own lasso of truth, and Batman had no plan on how to defeat Furnace the Burning, except for when Plastic Man came through. He still got all of his other powers as well, like invisibility, phasing, shapeshifting, Martian vision, and Martian breath. And now that his fear of fire has been removed, he's actually got pyrokinesis as well. He's even killed 80 to 100 different white Martians, who are all incredibly powerful characters in their own right. And throughout all this, Furness made it abundantly clear that he could have killed everyone immediately using his telepathy, but didn't because he has a more savage and warlike nature and enjoyed the fight. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, what I love about this fight is how remarkably similar these characters are. I mean, Martian Manhunter and Sentry have some similarities right off the bat, but the Void and Furnace are kind of the same guy. They are the dark side of their respective character, with Void and Sentry being one and the same, and Martian Manhunter and Furnace being one and the same. They've thoroughly trashed their respective teams on a fairly consistent basis, and were actually both beaten by their respective heroes or their good side. But even while both of these villains are similar, today we're just looking at which one is more powerful. Now, physically, both of these guys are insane and are definite team busters. I mean, Furnace effortlessly beat the Justice League on 3 separate occasions, gutting Green Lantern, phasing Superman, taking him out in the entire fight, nearly choking Wonder Woman out with her own lasso. And that was just on 1 occasion. He beat them 2 other times. In fact, the only reason that the heroes were able to beat Furnace was because Martian Manhunter came out into the fight and defeated the monster. But the Void is just as strong, and arguably even more so. I mean, breaking every bone in Hulk's body, ripping Ares in half, is no small feat. He's brought down Asgard, easily overpowered Thor, almost destroyed Manhattan, and he's consistently fought against and beaten teams of heroes just like Furnace. I mean, he took down all the Avengers with just 1 shot, and even single-handedly battled against Doctor Strange, Namor, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, X-Men, and plenty of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. So, yeah, both of these guys are very powerful. But I think Void's greatest physical advantage has got to be his durability. I mean, it's arguable that the Void cannot even be killed unless he wants to be. He's regenerated in seconds from just a skeleton. And even after Thor seemingly did kill the Void and threw him into the sun, just turned out that he was in the sun, being burned down to an atom and coming back over and over again. On the other hand, Martian Manhunter was actually able to defeat and kill Fernus, burning away and destroying every last one of his atoms with his Martian vision. Although it was said that Fernus always had the potential to come back, because it was an aspect of John. However, on the other hand, Fernus's greatest advantage has got to be his speed. And he actually uses his speed a whole lot in a fight. He said that it just took him 15 seconds to gather all the information on the Fortress of Solitude from Superman's mind, 30 seconds to learn how to operate the Phantom Zone generator, and probably most impressively, said he was able to beat the Justice League in a time that almost took them to scream. And he was criticizing himself for this as well, saying that this kind of speed was sloppy. However, it is kind of debatable how fast Fernus was actually moving here, because Batman was actually able to teleport and slip away, while Fernus got Superman and Flash, who were both much faster than Batman, and should have been able to process what was happening much faster as well. More than likely, it was just a figure of speech. But I don't think it'll just come down to a physical attack, because both of these villains have so many other powers, and constantly use them in a fight. I mean, when Fernus fought against the Justice League, he wasn't just using his strength, but mentally manipulating and tormenting them, using his intangibility to actually phase and take out his opponents, and using his invisibility to remain hidden the whole fight, and they never knew where the attacks were coming from. He's even got pyrokinesis now, and can manipulate fire. But it's really Fernus's telepathy that I want to focus on. I mean, you think Martian Manhunter is a powerful telepath? Just look at Fernus. John was struggling to keep the Joker's mind sane, while Fernus was actually turning all of Arkham Asylum sane, and forcing them to face the tragedy and evilness of their crimes. And it was even said multiple times that Fernus could have beaten the Justice League and killed all of them in a second just by using his telepathy. Only thing is, while Fernus could have done all that, he didn't, because of his brutal and savage nature. He loves a fight, as he stated, while taking his time to defeat the White Martians. And so that is why he never uses telepathy against the Justice League in a lethal way. It's possible that the same thing happens in his fight against the Void. The Void has also got some telepathic powers on top of that. I mean, the Sentry is a powerful telepath, being able to erase all memories of his existence from the minds of every human on Earth, and even the Inhumans on the Moon. And that includes telepathically resistant characters like Thor, Hulk, and Dr. Doom. And don't mess around with the Void when it comes to telepathy. I mean, one time, Emma Frost, an Omega-level telepath, was accessing a white room that her and Xavier had built inside the Sentry's mind when the Void attacked her, forcing her to transform into her diamond form or she would have been killed. Now, don't get me wrong, Furness's telepathy is a serious threat in this fight, but it's not like the Void doesn't have any telepathic resistance or power. On the other hand, the Void has got his molecular manipulation, and he's used this power to restrain and beat the Avengers, summon black tentacles from the sky and attack Manhattan, and use his powers to kill Loki, who was amped at the moment using the Norn Stones. And the Void is also a whole lot more likely to use molecular manipulation in a fight, as he's used it in almost every single fight that he's been in, and often to lethal results. So, end of the day, who wins? Well, until recently, I would say this is an incredibly close fight, and Fernus really had the ability to come out on top, especially with his telepathy. But then the Void had to go around and show just how powerful he truly is. I'm talking about Doctor Strange and Loki. I mean, the guy fought against and beat Sorcerer Supreme Loki and God of Magic Doctor Strange. And it was said that these guys just couldn't do anything against the Void. Understand, both of these characters are essentially Hell Lord level beings with these certain amps, and they didn't stand a chance against the Void. While he's impressive, Fernus really hasn't shown power on that level. The Void wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sound off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe button. More videos, just one every single day, and I will see you next time.